Okay, so ready to dive in. Today we're tackling a memoir, and it's one that I think will resonate with a lot of you. Free, My Search for Meaning by Amanda Knox. You probably heard her name before, right?
Oh, absolutely. Amanda Knox. It's a story that just grabs you, doesn't it? I mean, think back to 2007, American student in Italy, and suddenly she's caught up in this murder case that just exploded in the media.
Yeah, it became this huge international story, didn't it?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. In this deep dive, we're going beyond those headlines. We're going past the courtroom drama because Amanda's book, it's so much more than just a rehashing of the
It
case.
really is. Free. My Search for Meaning. It gives us this incredibly raw and honest look at resilience. Like, how do you hold on to yourself when facing such intense, unimaginable injustice? And it's also about the search for identity. I mean, can you imagine having your life completely defined by something you say you didn't do?
It's a powerful concept, right? And in this deep dive, we're going to uncover those lessons, those moments that'll stay with you long after you finish the book. It's like a fast track to the heart of her experience.
So let's start at the beginning. Amanda, she arrives in Italy. Young, ambitious student, excited, right? I mean, studying it abroad, it's like this whole new world opening up.
Totally. She talks about that feeling,
Yeah.
like anything is possible. You're in a new place, a new culture, and then boom, everything changes. She's accused of murdering her roommate, Meredith Kircher. It's like a complete 180.
And what's striking is how quickly the media latched onto the story and the way she was portrayed. It often felt like this caricature, It's so different from the Amanda Knox who's telling her story in this book.
It's a really important point because as she details in Free, there was this global wave of judgment against her, even though the hard evidence connecting her to the crime, well, it was pretty flimsy. And that's disturbing, isn't it? How quickly we rush to judgment sometimes, even without all the facts.
It really makes you think about the power of those first impressions and how easily they can get twisted, especially when you've got the media amplifying everything. And for Amanda, it was like being tried and convicted in the court of public opinion, way before any legal verdict came down.
There's this one part in the book that just stuck with me. She describes being alone in her prison cell. It's cold, stark, and she's just trying to grasp what had happened to her life, the chaos of it all. Such a powerful image. It really humanizes her in the midst of this unbelievable situation.
Right, you can almost feel that disorientation. One minute, she's excited about this new adventure, and the next, she's in prison, facing a murder charge. The psychological impact, it must have been immense. That disbelief, the fear, it's hard to fathom.
It's truly chilling. And then begins what she calls the battle for freedom. This wasn't some quick resolution. It went on for years. Interrogations, trials, guilty verdicts, appeals, more trials. It's exhausting just thinking about it.
And that really underscores a major theme in the book. This feeling of losing all control over her own life. For years, her fate is in the hands of others. The legal system, decisions being made that she has no power over.
She really digs deep into how she coped with that loss of control while she was in prison. It's fascinating and honestly kind of inspiring to see the strategies she came up with just to hold on to some sense of herself. What were some of the things that struck you about how she survived in that environment?
Well, she found ways to create stability, even in this incredibly unstable situation. Writing, for example, it became this outlet for her, a way to process everything she was going through. And reading, it wasn't just escapism, it was a way to gain new perspectives.
Right. And she talks about finding comfort in meditation, a way to find peace amidst the chaos, even creating small routines, anything to hold on to some sense of normalcy in this totally abnormal existence.
And of course, there's the book she mentions, Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. I mean, talk about parallels. Here she is facing this horrific situation, and she finds strength in Frankl's words about finding meaning, even in the most dehumanizing circumstances.
Yeah, that connection really resonated with me too. It's like, even when your external freedom is taken away, you can still find a kind of internal liberation by creating meaning. It's incredibly powerful.
It shows us that even in the darkest of times, our inner strength can be a source of resilience. It's like a lifeline.
And that leads us to what I think is one of the most remarkable things about Amanda Knox, her resilience. Throughout this entire ordeal, she never gave up. She learned to advocate for herself. She fought against the injustice. She held on to the belief that the truth would come out. I mean, that takes an incredible amount of inner strength, wouldn't you say?
It's almost superhuman, the level of fortitude she displays. And it's a reminder to all of us, right, that we have this capacity for endurance within us. We can not only survive, but resist injustice and keep hope alive even when things seem impossible.
And that brings us to an interesting part of her journey, which she calls the price of freedom. You'd think, okay, she's acquitted, she's free, that's it, happy ending, right? But her book shows us that it's not that simple. Freedom brought its own set of challenges.
It's true. The legal battle might be over, but the impact of everything lingers. The public perception, shaped by years of media coverage, doesn't just vanish overnight. She still has to deal with the label of that girl from the news.
It's like this shadow hanging over her, this constant struggle to redefine herself, to move beyond the narrative that was created about her. Makes you wonder how you would handle something like that, even on a smaller scale, right? Having a certain perception of you stuck in people's minds, no matter what the truth is.
It speaks volumes about how powerful these public narratives can be. Even when someone is legally exonerated, the stigma can be so hard to shake. Those initial impressions, even if they were inaccurate, they can have a lasting impact.
And there's this really profound part where Amanda reflects on the true meaning of freedom. It wasn't just about being released from prison. It was about reclaiming her sense of self, her dignity, the freedom to live without constantly feeling judged or fearing what people think. What parts of her definition of freedom resonated with you the most?
I think it's crucial that she makes that distinction. It's not just about physical freedom, it's about inner freedom. Freedom from fear, from the weight of other people's opinions. It's something that you have to work for even after the external constraints are gone.
Her story also raises some important questions about bigger issues, right? The flaws in the criminal justice system, the power of public perception, how misinformation can spread and have such devastating effects on someone's life.
Exactly. It's a wake-up call, isn't it? It forces us to confront the fact that our judgments aren't always perfect. The media can be biased, and these narratives can take hold so quickly with real consequences for people's lives. It makes you think about your own role in all of this. How do you consume information? How do you share it?
It encourages us to be more critical thinkers, to not just accept the first story we hear, especially in these high-profile, emotionally charged cases, to seek out different perspectives, to remember that there's always more to the story than what we see on the surface.
It's a challenge to all of us, to take a step back and ask ourselves, how often do I really question the narratives I'm presented with? Am I willing to look beyond the headlines and consider the human side of things?
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's talk about what we can take away from Amanda's story. Because Free, My Search for Meaning isn't just about her experience. It offers lessons that apply to all of us, no matter who we are or what we've been through.
For sure. Her memoir is full of insights that can help us navigate our own challenges and find meaning in our lives.
One of the biggest takeaways for me is the power of resilience in the face of injustice. Amanda's ability to hold on to hope and stay strong when it seemed like the whole world was against her, it's honestly incredible. What do you think is at the core of that kind of resilience?
I think it's the fact that she didn't just survive. She resisted. She refused to let this injustice define her. That kind of inner strength, the belief in her own truth, that's a powerful example for anyone facing adversity.
And then there's the lesson about the power of narratives, how quickly public perception can change, and how important it is to question the stories we're told, especially in today's world, where information spreads so fast. It's a reminder that we need to be careful about what we believe and how we form our opinions.
Absolutely. We need to be more media literate. We need to think critically and seek out different perspectives before making judgments.
And finally, Amanda's story teaches us about the long process of rebuilding after trauma. It shows that healing is possible, that we can find meaning and purpose even after experiencing something terrible.
Her journey shows that it's an ongoing process, one that requires self-compassion and support. It's about integrating those difficult experiences into your life without letting them take over.
At the end of the day, Free, My Search for Meaning challenges us to reevaluate our own judgments, to look for the truth beyond the headlines, and to truly appreciate the importance of personal freedom, not just for ourselves, but for everyone.
It encourages us to embrace the complexities of life, to recognize that things aren't always black and white, and to remember the human element in every story, especially when it comes to how we perceive others and form our opinions.
So as we close out this deep dive, I think it's safe to say that Amanda Knox's journey is a story of survival, strength, and ultimately redemption. Her memoir is a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit.
It definitely leaves you with a lot to think about, and whether you were familiar with her case before or not, there's so much to learn from her experience about finding meaning in even the darkest of times.
So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on Amanda's story now? Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you felt misunderstood or judged unfairly? It's definitely something worth reflecting on.
And as we go about our day, maybe this deep dive will stay with you. Maybe it'll make you think about the power of collective judgment, the importance of individual stories, and the responsibility we all have to seek truth and understanding in a world that's overflowing with information. It's a conversation that doesn't end here.